Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Dallas Freuh. Of course, you may know him from ARCA, but you may not know him actually. So this is kind of like, so here's this whole storyline. You're probably like, why are you talking to this guy? So apparently he's been driving the 27 the last 2 weeks in the ARCA Menard series for the Richmond team. I met him at Berlin. Felt like having him on. Why not? There's a lot to know about you besides being a driver. You're also a pit crew member as well for the fast track team. So how are you, bud?
Been doing good. Just hanging around, working on cars, traveling all over the place. It's been fun the past few weeks, getting to drive a little bit now.
So was that your first ARCA start as a driver?
Berlin. Yeah, Berlin was.
Okay, so I know it was a start and park thing and all that stuff. But just to be out there, that's got to be exciting.
Oh yeah, I normally drive a street stock, so a lot of these guys getting in the ARCA cars, they come up from late models or something. I don't hear of anybody coming up from that kind of stuff anymore. So it drove a lot similar to a street stock than I thought it would, just with more power. Of course, it's pushing 600 some horsepower, if I'm not mistaken. So it's still really cool in the whole professional aspect of the ARCA events compared to what I'm used to. Yeah. It's definitely a different experience.
Of course, you drove at Elko last week. I know that you don't get to be out there because I know that it's for okay. So just explain what the plan is for this thing.
Well, at least the plan for Berlin and Elko was we were building a car for me to start and park in later in the year and at those two races also, but it just did not get done in time. So after in Iowa, Tim ended up hitting the wall in practice and that car was really damaged. They figured, well, we're not going to use the car ever again this year. Why not just use that as our start and park car? Because if it gets beat up anymore, it really doesn't matter. So they took that out. It had the right front spindle in it. It was the wrong spindle. It's like way up here. It was supposed to be down here. So the right front of the car never got down on the track, and the alignment never even got checked after hitting the wall. So who even knows what was in it? But we took it out anyways, just because I couldn't hurt it anymore.
Yeah, for sure. So I know that you're gonna be at Mid Ohio regardless because you're also a crew member for the fast track team. How did you get connected with them?
Oh, this is kind of a complicated story almost. Last year, I wasn't in ARCA at all up until June or July. I've been going to the school UNOH out in Ohio, and they have a program with ARCA, but it's been shut down ever since COVID happened, so I couldn't do that. But it was like 2 weeks before the race at Berlin. I got a call from Zachary Tinkle. Of course, he's driving with Peterson now, or he did a little with Fast Track too. But he called me and said he was going to be doing an ARCA race because his first race was Berlin with Peterson. And I had known him from way back. I used to race a car called the Super Cup with him. We were really good buddies. I helped set up his car and all that. He invited me out there, and I went. And the second I got there, they're like, yeah, you're changing tires also. We forgot to tell you that. So change tires for them, have fun. And I figured while I'm there, I might as well try to meet some other teams. So in like 3 days before the race, I went up on Photoshop, designed some business cards, and handed them out to team owners while I was there.
Yeah.
Apparently Andy liked me, and he gave me a call and told me, come to Iowa the next week. And there I was. Went to Iowa and been working with him ever since.
Nice. And this was last year, right?
Yeah, this was all last year.
Okay. So how did you get connected with David and Tim and the Richmond family?
That was at Watkins Glen, which I think was like the third or fourth race I did with Andy there.
Yeah.
He had been having me do pit crew stuff for him, but he didn't have any spots available for Watkins Glen. He already had all the people figured out, and I wasn't on that list. But the 27 team needed help. So he threw me over there. And of course, I ended up talking to the team, and it turns out their shop is only an hour from where I am from. So it's real easy to go down there and work with them. So then the Michigan weekend, it was Michigan and Springfield. that weekend. I went ahead and went to their shop and worked in it all week and traveled with them to Michigan. Didn't work with them. I worked with Fast Track still, but I traveled with them. And after getting to know them real well, they seemed to like me. I kept coming to the shop a few times more. And then Kansas last year, when I was just pushing cars through tech, Dave came up to me and he pretty much asked me if I wanted to do some start and park stuff next year. And I can't say no. So I'll take any chance to drive a race car.
Yeah. So I know that, with the regardless of start and park, I know it's just good to be behind, the wheel and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But you also race and other stuff. You said you were doing some street stock stuff. You actually raced last night, if I'm not mistaken.
I did, yeah. We brought our street stock out. It was the first time we got it out this year because it's been just tough getting it all together. We had engine builder delays, but it was with a class called the Sportsman class, which is actually a step above our car. So we were not competitive at all, but it was a good test session for one of the actual street stock races we're doing at the end of the month at IRP, the day after the ARCA race. But we finished like 12th out of 18 cars, and I didn't hit anything, so it was good. We figured out some issues with the engine that we had to get tuned up and the carburetor, all that. So it was a good run, really.
So how did you get into racing?
That goes 11 years back now. 2009 or 2010, actually.
How old at the time?
I was 9. My dad, he had always been a NASCAR fan ever since he was little, but he never got to do any of it. So 2010 or so, we decided maybe I could get in some kind of go-karting or something. We went to Grundy County Speedway, which is like 45 minutes from my place here. It's in Morris, Illinois. And we saw these little cars, and they're called Super Cups. They're like half scale, still full roll cage and everything, full suspension, just only 20 horsepower. But on a big track like that, they're getting up to like 70 mile an hour. We went and watched them. My dad saw one of those cars with a for sale sign on it, and a trailer showed up the next day. And we went from there, learning how to work on race cars.
So really, where did that go after that?
Well, I was, for one, my dad never worked on race cars. And of course I didn't because I was 9. And I was pretty terrible at driving also. My first race, it was 20 laps. I got lapped 9 times. That was bad. They probably should have pulled me off the track. But either way, we kept improving. And then 2014, 4 years later, we figured something out. I ended up winning 9 races and we won the championship. 2015, first race of the season, I ended up getting injured in a crash and then missed the whole year. Came back 2016, won another championship, and then got the street stock.
And you've been in street stocks ever since?
Yeah, 2017. The first 2 years we ran at our home track, and then 2019 till now, we've been traveling with Champion Racing Association, their street stock series.
Nice. So when are we going to see you next in an ARCA car?
Hopefully Watkins Glen is the plan right now. It was just posted like a day or two ago that Con is going to be driving at Mid-Ohio and Pocono for Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tim will be in the car at Lucas Oil and Michigan after that.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I should be in Watkins Glen.
All right. Some good stuff there, as always. Of course, you're going to be at all the races since you are a crew member for a team. So where do you see yourself, next year? Do you want to, take the next step and, be there? But what do you want to do?
That's a good question. I kind of asked that myself. Right now, I graduate college in just under 3 months. Okay. Only a year ago, I just started an ARCA, so this all kind of happened really quick. I didn't think I'd be driving a car this soon, let alone doing any of the stuff I am really. So if I can get more driving, I'm gonna try to. I got a few guys working with me now. We're gonna try and find some sponsorship and
Okay.
maybe actually run some full races here or there, but nothing's set up yet. Um, but with the car we're building with the 2017, it's gonna have an SB2 motor, and he's happy to run that 50, 100 laps at some of the ovals, not Watkins Glen, of course, but
Yeah.
he'd be happy to let me turn a lot more laps in that thing than the car we were just driving.
Yeah, because I
So,
think that there really after Watkins Glen, there's a lot of short. I mean, the dirt track. I mean,
yep.
we got, of course, we got Springfield and DuQuoin, and
Hmm.
then the Milwaukee Miles coming up after that. Bristol's on there, and then Salem, and then finish off the year at Toledo. So
Yeah.
a lot of
Um,
for a lot of short tracks coming up really after Watkins Glen.
yeah. And I know Tim's in the car at Bristol and I think Milwaukee Mile, but everything else, I don't think he's in it. I'd have to check again on the schedule. He posted it like in February and I still don't have it memorized, but
Yeah,
yeah, I should be doing some more laps, and the short tracks definitely we can do more because that's less wear and tear. The big tracks are a bit from the cars on, and so we'll see. I'm a track guy anyways, that's what I'm used to. And I don't have a speedway license yet anyways, so I can't run the big tracks yet.
right,
We're gonna try and get me one, but I don't have it yet.
for sure. All right, Dallas, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. And good luck to you in your racing career. We'll have you on again sometime later in the year. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you for having me. It was awesome.